Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard and join in our fantastic voyage as we prepare to set sail on the 7 seas. We'll be traveling by boat, by plane, by car, and even by horse if the situation calls for it. We'll get you where you need to go. There's no doubt about that. And we'll learn a ton of interesting things about geography along the way. Did I say learning? I meant exploring the world like Christopher Columbus, traveling to the farthest corners of the globe and taking in all the beauty of our planet. The great Mark Twain once said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did do. So, throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor. Catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. So, why don't we do just that? Let us set sail and discover the world in all its glory. The first thing to remember is that it is easy to be fooled into thinking that everyone is pretty much the same. The more you see and experience places and people, the more you will broaden your horizons. The key to becoming a well-rounded, seafaring individual is to journey the exotic and strange locations, learning about the culture and appreciating that these humans aren't all quite the same as you may be. Is that a bad thing? Of course not. Being unique is what makes us a special species. Our differences should be praised and admired. Let's begin a voyage around the world. We start in the beautifully vast continent of Africa. Did you know that Africa is such a big continent that you could fit all the major countries in the world, like the US, China, India, not to mention all of Europe and Japan, inside its borders and still have room left over? It's the second largest continent in the world, home to over 1 billion people. And all of these people speak many different languages. In fact, there's over 1,000 known languages spoken in Africa. It also has the world's longest river, the River Nile, and the world's biggest desert, the Sahara Desert, which is almost as big as the USA. You think that's cool? Well, they also have the African elephant, which is the largest land animal on the planet, and the giraffe, which is the tallest. Now, we'll catch a boat across the Indian Ocean to the east. We land in Mumbai, India. Why don't you take a look around? India is an amazing country. Not only is it the oldest civilization in the world, they also have the world's largest democracy. And it was where the number system was invented. That's right, you wouldn't be able to count if it wasn't for the Indian people. It's also the birthplace of martial arts and yoga, which was invented over 5,000 years ago. Even though they aren't English, India is the largest English-speaking nation on the planet. Speaking of England, did you know that the Indian dish chicken tikka masala is the most popular dish in England? Okay, we'll be flying from here, straight over the Indian Ocean and even further east to sunny Australia. If you've brought your trunks, we can go for a swim and see the Great Barrier Reef. That's the largest reef system in the world. If you haven't, don't worry. There's plenty to see on land as well. Australia is the 6th largest country in the whole world and mostly made up of the outback, a huge desert that covers a lot of land. It's also home to 7 of the world's most venomous snakes. Scared of snakes? No worries. We'll jet off to another part of the world. Japan is pretty nice this time of year. Did you know that over 70% of Japan is mountains, which includes over 200 volcanoes? They're also big on their wrestling over here. Sumo wrestling, that is. It's the national sport, closely followed by baseball in terms of popularity. Japan was also home to the mighty samurai warriors who ruled for around 700 years. Where next? Does anybody fancy a cross-country trip around the USA? It'll take us a while. America, the 4th largest country with the 3rd largest population. A lot of those people speak English, but the USA is a very diverse and multicultural society with no official language. For instance, Chicago has the largest Polish population of any city besides Warsaw. The USA also has the world's largest economy. It's home to the world-famous movie industry, Hollywood, based in Los Angeles. In 1969, an American, Neil Armstrong, was the first man to walk on the moon. We'd love to take you up to the moon on our trip. Instead, we'll have to head across the border into South America. Did you know the biggest country on the continent is Brazil? Most of Brazil is made up by the Amazon rainforest, the largest natural resource in the world. It produces 20% of the world's oxygen supply. Kind of takes your breath away, doesn't it? South America is also home to 40% of the world's animal and plant population. That includes jaguars, llamas, anacondas, and anteaters. In most places in South America, they speak Spanish. However, in Brazil, they speak Portuguese. Do you know where else they speak Spanish and Portuguese? In Spain and Portugal, over in Europe. Duh! Let's hop on another plane and head over there, shall we? Of course, there are a lot of countries in Europe, approximately 50. My favorite is Greece, the birthplace of the Olympic Games. That's right, the ancient Greeks started the Olympics that we know and love today. Greece is also made up of thousands of tiny islands and is also home to many World Heritage Sites, including Olympia, which is where they held their great sporting events. Geez, all this traveling has made me tired. There's still so many places we've yet to discover. Let's take a break from our weary traveling and think on what we've learned. We've been around the whole world in 10 minutes. I think you deserve a pat on the back. Remember, when you study geography, you become a better person. That's because you learn more about different cultures and different types of people. By learning more about others, you have a positive impact on the world. You become more accepting and appreciative of people's differences. Wherever your learning takes you, embrace it. Discover something amazing about life, and you might discover something amazing about yourself. Until next time, safe voyaging!